All right, things look nice. Not a ton of beer, not a ton of ingredients in this beer. Sometimes there's that. Sometimes when I prep these videos and I show you a really simple recipe, I'm like, I wonder if this is interesting enough. But really, I mean, it doesn't. Beers like this aren't so much, and I think beers in general, a lot of times, aren't so much about really huge, complex grain bills. Maybe there's some styles that's beneficial for, but really these beers are about simplicity. Light lager is about simplicity. It's about dialing in your fermentation temperature, having nice base ingredients. This is Barca Pils. I love using really beautiful traditional German malts when I'm making these beers. I think it makes a difference. Not saying that you can't make a fine lager with a domestic product, but that is what I prefer to be doing with them. We're just mashing it up, baby. In here, in these streets, in these mashy streets. I feel like I have more water in here than I should at this stage. Let me get my recipe log. Got my brew log. I'm not crazy. At least not in relation to this. And yeah, man, I think so often it comes back to good, simple ingredients, clean process, and understanding your yeast. Especially when we go into lager brewing. It's important with everything, but I really think with lager brewing, you really need to have happy, healthy yeast. And then kind of tweaking water profiles. I mean, that's how I approach it. I know different people do that differently, but that's kind of my outlook with beers like this. Wait till you see this huge yeast brink that we have. We got a yeast pitch from Sauce Boss today, and we have this new 1-barrel tank. Wait till you see this thing, man. It's the real deal. It's the real deal, Holyfield. One thing I wish I could change about how YouTube works, I wish I could play music, because music brings out, I think, the best in me. But we can't for copyright reasons, so I mean, you can occasionally hear me sing, which is nice. Moving right along here, we've got about 2 barrels to go. We're probably getting lower on grain. This is a 1.5 quarts per pound of malt beer that we're doing. And remember, what we're doing here in the mash tun, we have this rake spinning, we have this hot water dropping, we have this crushed malt dropping into the mash tun. The whole idea, the main point of what we're doing in the mash is we are creating malt sugar. We're converting that starch in that malted barley into sugar. What we have coming up is the saccharification rest, or the sugar rest. And so we're trying to hit a certain temperature range. For a beer like this, I like mashing in a little bit on the cooler side, like 149, because I feel like I want to make some shorter chain sugars in this beer, meaning more readily fermentable sugars. It gives you a drier, lighter beer. I think one of the nice things about that is when you do that, you don't have to put as much bitterness into a beer, and you can make it a little bit more approachable. That's just kind of the way I view it. There it is. Got our grain in. Let me make sure it's all flushed out. Close that up. So you can see the mash is a little bit on the thick side right now. You can't really see. Maybe if I give it right there, you'll be able to see. You can kind of see a little bit more grain in with that water. I got one steamy eye. But anyhow, I'm going to chase the rest of the water in here and clean up a little bit, and I'll keep you along for the ride. I hope I explained everything about the mash there. All right, so we are fully mashed in, and we are about to recirculate this mash. So if you haven't been with us before, I use this fine-tuned valve. It's not one of these butterfly valves that just are kind of open and closed. This dial valve can give you a little bit finer point on it. And you can see we have this cloudy, kind of grainy work going through here. So we'll pull some of that through. And then through this sight glass, you're gonna see we're gonna start seeing some work pop up through our grant right here. We're gonna get that filled up. At this point, really, we have full conversion on this mash. We will verify that a little bit later, but we are gonna begin the Vorlauf. And if you can tell, you can kind of see that this wort is like grainy right now. And what we wanna do is we wanna run that until it's clear. You can see the grant is filling right up. When I feel that get all the way to the top, I'm gonna go up and start up a pump. And we were looking at the diverter panel at the beginning. On the side closest to us over here, that's the side that has the mash side pump. And I'm going to utilize that pump to pump the wort back up into the top along the side of this mash tun, and we'll see where it gets us. We'll circulate that thing until she runs clear, lads. Until she runs clear, laddie. I'm just shouting right into the microphone. All right, let me give you a little snapshot. I don't Verloff super hard or super aggressively. Maybe I should. But for us, it takes about 25 minutes when we pump at this speed. Oh gosh, everything's so tall on here. It takes us about 25 minutes to get this thing clear on my system. It could potentially happen faster if I pumped that around more vigorously, but I don't want to. I don't want to compress that mash bed at all. So you can see this running down along the side of the mash. I'm trying not to catch a bunch of steam when we look at that. But anyways, this recirc happens for 25 minutes. I'm gonna be doing a lot of other odds and ends as we go. And then I'll catch up when we're ready to start running this stuff over to the kettle. All right, everybody, thank you so much for watching. If you feel as if you got any value out of the video, please like and subscribe. There are also other videos that you can watch. They're gonna maybe be over here or over here. Appreciate you watching.